So I'm Ernie's mom, and I am so proud of him now. So I was having some difficulty with Ernie, kind of with some sporadic behavior that I kind of always felt like wasn't really him. Like every time maybe his ears would go up, or I felt he was maybe acting aggressively. I was like, what's going on? This really hasn't happened a ton before. And my boyfriend was walking him one day, and a jogger came up behind him and he nipped him. And obviously, as every owner in the world, their biggest fear in life is losing their dog to some aggression issue. And that was kind of when I knew I had to do something about it, because I felt like I wasn't bringing Ernie places because I was too scared to, when in reality he deserved to go to all these fun places and be with all these other fun dogs who didn't necessarily have that behavior problem. So I started doing some research on dog training, and I knew it was an investment, and I just kind of felt like I had to nip it in the bud before it got any worse. So I found The Good Dog on Google and watched like every video 15 times, and I just thought it was so great. And my only hesitation ever was I never wanted to hurt Ernie, obviously, as no one wants to hurt their dog. And I was hesitant about the e-collar and hesitant about the prong, but kind of knew I believed in Sean and The Good Dog's philosophy, and I knew that they wouldn't work with dogs they didn't think could be better. And I knew that why would you spend so much time working on bad dogs if you didn't love them? And that was my biggest fear, was like giving Ernie to someone who doesn't love him, because to know Ernie is to love Ernie. So I sent in an email, and Shelby actually got back to me right away, and she offered for a 30-minute phone call on a Sunday. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. On a Sunday, that's perfect. I don't have work. And I actually had my mom call in with me as well, because I can't make decisions without her. So we called her. My mom's in Chicago, so we three-way called, and we were on the phone for an hour and a half, which Shelby said it was a 30-minute phone call because I had 1,000,001 questions, and so did my mom, and she answered every single one of them so kindly and so thoroughly. I just knew that she had to love any dog that she was working with. So it was really a quick decision after that. It was hard to give him up for 3 weeks, and it was hard to say I love you and goodbye. I definitely was teary-eyed when we dropped him off. But I knew he was in good hands after dropping him with Shelby and Marta. Like I left, and I was like, they know exactly what they're doing. Again, to know Ernie is to love Ernie. It's impossible not to. So I left with a lot of confidence, and I sobbed in the car on the way home. I just like love him so much, but I knew it was the right decision after I left. I had no hesitation. So fast forward the first night, they emailed me the next day about Ernie and his first night, and his muzzle was already off, and I was so happy to hear that, and they said he did great, no surprise. And then our first week came up, and I got a great email saying that Ernie was getting along with everyone and doing great. I watched every Ernie YouTube video start to finish and emailed it to all my friends, all my family. I was like, look how good Ernie is. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing, because everyone loves Ernie, but he is kind of a hype. He did have this kind of new level to him, and being around grandparents really wasn't an option because Ernie wants to jump and play and do all these things. So it was always really encouraging to see those. And then I came in for my one-on-one, the owner getting ready to go home day, and again had 1,000,000 questions. They all were answered. Got to use the e-collar a little bit, got used to it. The homework was super helpful. Sean's book is amazing. I would recommend getting the audiobook and listening to it on your walks that you would normally go on with your dog, but instead you have to go alone. So I did a lot of walking and a lot of listening, and everything just made so much sense after I listened. And it's really about loving your dog to the point that they can do everything with you. So flash forward to pickup day. I was so excited to get him and see him, but I knew I couldn't excite him too much because he would break commands. But he really did so great. I called my mom immediately after, and I was like, you'll never ever believe Ernie. Like, you just won't believe him. And he's still his fun and spunky. He's so spunky and so smiley, and he's still all of that and more, just contained and trusting. And it just excites me to think about like the next 12 years of our lives and how much better he's gonna be, and how all the things we can do together. And I know it's not gonna be a quick journey, but I know everything that I've seen so far, I just could not be more encouraged, and I can't wait to kind of continue his training journey and like leading him and loving him. Yes.